Detective Adrian Cole never believed in coincidences, so when a battered leather diary turned up in an old London bookshop, his instincts screamed trouble. The seller claimed it belonged to Sebastian Vane, an MI6 agent who vanished 3 years ago during an OP in Prague. Adrian flipped through the pages. Each entry listed a name, date, and location. June 3rd, Evelyn Hart, South Bank Pier. He froze. Evelyn Hart had drowned at South Bank last year, a case still unsolved. Adrian kept reading. Every entry matched a real murder from the past. 12 months. Then came the last page. July 31st, blank. Next week, but beneath the gap, a chilling note. And after that, Adrian Cole. His blood ran cold. He wasn't paranoid. Someone had predicted 6 murders, and his name was next. Adrian slid the diary into an evidence bag. One thing was clear. If he didn't find the writer, the prophecy would come true. Sebastian Vane, a name whispered like a curse in MI6 corridors. Officially dead. Off the record, a traitor. Adrian pulled Vane's file. The details were sparse. Covert asset. Prague mission. Status, missing. Presumed dead. If Vane wrote the diary, then he wasn't dead, and he knew. Adrian. Years ago they'd crossed paths when Adrian worked as an MI6 analyst. They weren't friends, but Vane had a reputation for brilliance and ruthlessness. The murders weren't random. All 6 victims had covert ties to British intelligence assets, handlers, analysts, including Adrian. Was this revenge? Or cleanup? And why warn Adrian in advance? Adrian stared at the looming date, July 31st, 6 days. Someone would beyond then him, unless he turned the game around. At 2 a.m., Adrian sat in his flat studying the diary when his phone buzzed. Unknown number. One message. She will drown like the first. His pulse spiked. The diary predicted the next victim, but didn't name her. Now, the killer taunted him. She could mean anyone. Adrian traced the past victims. Every murder mirrored the method of an older case Vane once investigated. Pattern or signature. Then it hit him. Evelyn Hart drowned because Vane once used a waterboarding technique on a target. Every victim's death was symbolic. Adrian called his old MI6 contact, Chloe Reed. I need names, he said. Anyone who worked Prague. Anyone. Female. Chloe hesitated but sent a list. 2 names stood out. Marianne Blake, ex-operative turned art dealer, and Faye Nolan, cryptographer. Both lived near the Thames. Adrian felt the clock ticking. One woman would die this week. If he didn't find her first, the killer would make sure the prophecy stayed true. Adrian chose Marianne Blake first. Her gallery near the river glowed under dim lights as she locked up. Adrian parked across the street, eyes scanning every shadow. At 10:15 p.m., a black van slowed near the gallery. Adrian sprinted as a masked figure lunged for Marianne. The assailant shoved her toward the van, but Adrian tackled him mid-grab. They struggled. A blade flashed. Adrian dodged, but the attacker slipped free and vanished into the alley. Breathless, Adrian pulled Marianne up. Who wants you dead? He demanded. Her pale face tightened. You shouldn't be here, Cole. If he knows you interfered. She stopped. Fear burned in her eyes. You're already on his list. Adrian scanned the alley empty. The van was gone. The killer knew Adrian was closing in, but something gnawed at him. Why hadn't Vane finished the job? Why risk exposure? Then, his phone buzzed. Another text. You saved her tonight. You won't save the next. The next morning, the Thames police pulled a body from the water. Female, mid-30s. Adrian's stomach knotted until forensics confirmed it wasn't Marianne or Faye. The name? Clara Vane, Sebastian Vane's wife? Adrian stared at her pale corpse. If Vane was alive, this wasn't random, it was personal. The killer left a note in Clara's coat pocket. She drowned for my sins. He writes the future. I only turn the page. Adrian muttered. Could there be a second player? One, who followed the diary, not wrote it. Chloe called with urgency. Adrian, you need to hear this. Clara was in witness protection MI6. Put her there after Vane vanished. Which meant MI6 knew Vane was dangerous long before Adrian got the diary. And now Clara was dead. Adrian clenched his jaw. If someone else was turning Vane's words into murders, then finding Vane might be the only way to stop them. That night, Adrian's phone rang. No caller ID. He answered and froze. The voice was unmistakable. Deep, calm, calculated. Hello, Cole. Been a while. Vane. Adrian's grip tightened. You're alive. A low chuckle. Alive. That's relative. You found my diary. That's impressive, but you're asking the wrong question. It's not who wrote it. It's who's obeying it. Adrian's chest tightened. You're not killing them? I don't need to. Someone else believes in my words more than I ever did. Then, why call me? Because Adrian, you're about to make the same mistake I did. Trusting the wrong person. 6 days left. Survive that, and maybe you'll deserve answers. The line went dead. Adrian stared at the dark screen, pulse hammering. If Vane wasn't the killer, then who was? And why was the diary guiding their hand? Adrian rushed to MI6 headquarters, demanding Chloe pull every file linked to Vane. She hesitated, then whispered, You shouldn't be here. They're watching you. What do you mean? After you took the diary, someone ordered a surveillance. Op on you. Internal, they think you're compromised. Adrian felt the walls closing in. Was the agency part of this? Chloe slid him a flash drive. Everything we had on Vane. Prague? And Cole? There's something else. Clara wasn't the only one killed. Another ex-operative turned up dead in Berlin. Yesterday, Adrian connected the dots. 2 murders in 2 days. The killer wasn't following the diary anymore. They were accelerating, which meant Adrian might not have a weak. As he left HQ, Adrian caught his reflection in a nearby car window and froze. The same black van from last night idled behind him. Adrian bolted into a side street as the van's door slid open. Gunfire shattered the silence. He dove behind bins, bullets sparking against brick. Pulling his Glock, he fired back, hitting a tire. The van screeched and sped off, leaving blood trails where Adrian clipped someone. Breathing hard, he realized this wasn't just about stopping a killer. Someone wanted him dead tonight. He grabbed his phone, calling Chloe. Trace that van. Now. Minutes later, her voice came through, tense. The plates. Adrian, they're government issue. His guts sank. You're saying MI6 tried to kill me? I'm saying nothing. But you need to disappear. Adrian killed the line, and vanished into the underground tunnels. If MI6 was hunting him, the killer wasn't his only problem. Hidden in an abandoned rail station, Adrian plugged Chloe's flash drive into his laptop, one encrypted folder unlocked with an old cipher Vane once used. Inside, surveillance photos, payment logs, and one startling memo. Operation Obsidian, Asset Cole, flagged as high risk. Neutralized post Phase 6. Adrian's breath caught. Phase 6, the 6th murder, Clara, which meant his death was sanctioned by whom the memo was signed. Cr. Chloe Reed. Shock slammed into him. Chloe, his only ally, had ordered his elimination. But why? Adrian dug deeper and found another file. The original diary draft, except it wasn't handwritten. It was digital, authored by Chloe. She didn't just follow the diary. She wrote it. Adrian confronted Chloe at her flat, gun drawn. Why, Chloe? She didn't flinch. Because Vane broke the system and I'm fixing it. Those people betrayed the crown, sold secrets, caused deaths. Every name in that diary deserved to die. And me, Adrian hissed. You were clean and you stole the diary. Now you're a liability. She stepped closer, eyes cold. I needed someone to find Vane, flush him out. You played your part. Adrian's heart pounded. So this was all a setup. Yes, she whispered, raising her gun. And now, it ends. A gunshot cracked, but it wasn't Chloe's. She collapsed. A crimson bloom spreading. Behind her stood Sebastian Vane, pistol smoking. Vane's gray eyes glinted in the dim light. Still alive? Cole? Impressive. Adrian aimed at him. Why kill her? She wrote the script, but I wrote the ending. Vane smirked. Chloe thought she could control the game. She forgot I invented it. Adrian's mind spun. The diary. Why power? Vane said simply. Words can be deadlier than bullets. Give someone prophecy, and they'll kill to fulfill it. Chloe proved that. You used her, and she used you. Circle of betrayal? Cole. But here's the real twist. Your name was never in the original diary. She added it. Insurance. Adrian lowered his gun slightly, realization dawning. Chloe wanted him dead, not Vane. Vane stepped closer, grinned sharp. Now, what happens next depends on you. Outside, sirens wailed. I-6 teams were closing in. Vane tossed Adrian the diary. Take it, burneth, or write a new name. Choice is power. Adrian stared at the final blank line. Next. He looked up, but Vane was gone, melting into the shadows like a ghost. As footsteps thundered closer, Adrian slipped the diary into his coat. His heart hammered as he whispered to himself, maybe the future isn't written yet. But when he later opened the diary in his flat, one fresh line bled across the page, ink still wet. Next. Adrian Cole. His breath caught. Somewhere in the dark, someone was still writing.